Hello, been a while, isn't it? It's always been a while. This is Lineage Percussion by ProjectSAM. Now, it's actually version 1.1 of Lineage Percussion, so there's a little story to tell here. ProjectSAM, lovely people that they are, said, do I want to review this? And I said, yes, it looks very nice. And so they sent it, and I played with it, and it sounded amazing. But I had some real problems with it, actually. I had some real problems getting patches that I could use in a template that didn't consume vast amounts of memory, and they've got this amazing kit builder in here where you can build your own patches, but it wasn't quite working right for me, and I couldn't. It was just I was just very confused, and so I went back to them and said, I'm very confused, and they, lovely people that they are, they fixed a whole bunch of problems that were in version 1.0. And it led me down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I started to create my own patches, which they have then taken and made better because they can. And so in 1.1, there's a whole new set of kits in this. Oops, not the instruments there. In the kits here, there's a whole new set of kits that are designed specially for people who use templates or want to have a whole range of types of instrument in one hit kind of thing. And I've actually taken, there's a folder here called Guy here. You won't have that. But those here are all the new ones that I've done that may be of use to you. And it's actually a pretty good way of going through the whole library. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be walking through each of these and showing you what's there. I've drawn you a little map. Look, let's just drag that here. How do you like my graphic design? Do you think I've got a future in this? This is the basic idea. So that if you're using a template in, say, VE Pro, and you can't see at a glance what's on contact because that's buried away somewhere, this is a little guide to tell you the sort of the main conventions. So I've got the snare loaded up here. Main hits will be on C and D here, these two, and then you might often get an alternate hit, that's it without snares, on G and A. Trems will be on the mod wheel here, which is on E, and also the alternate trem on B flat, and then the sync rolls, and you've probably met these with ProjectSAM before. They are tempo synced to hit how you set it up, but typically on the downbeat. They will be on F and B flat. So all these other ones will probably have things on them. It varies from instrument to instrument about exactly what you get, but try and keep that broadly in your head as to the rough layout of where you expect to find things. And then whatever you load up should be slightly familiar and without even looking at a map. So let's start here with Gran, Cassa and Snares. That you'll see at the bottom here, I've just loaded the whole thing up completely. There's no key switches here, because I've got an 88-note keyboard. This really suits. If you don't have an 88-note keyboard, this won't make a lot of sense. But it just means that all the options are there in front of me in different beaters, in different drums, in cymbals and solos and all that. So if we start right at the bottom, I say right at the bottom, it's not actually quite at the bottom. We have our hits. I've always done these two hits so you can just play nice and easily like that. Damped hits there. Here's our trem on the mod wheel, and that with a hit. The tempo sync roll. Now that one, that's a different kind of roll. And in fact, if you go into the mapping, you can see what all these things are. A let ring on F, which is our position for rolls, but with a hard hit at the end, that's on F sharp. So if you have alternates, you should find them next to the normal position. Sometimes there's more than one trem, and that might be on D sharp, and so on and so forth. Now we're on to wooden beaters, I believe. Oh, I see. There we are. Gran, Cassa 2. So this is a wooden mallet now. Here. Damped here. And then there's a trem here, which is where we expect to find a trem. that's the main hit on Gran Cassa 2. Damped here. Trem here. God, it's gorgeous. The thing's always sounded gorgeous, but it's just the mapping never worked for me. Oh yeah, a little rim hit there. So that's the Gran Cassas all at the bottom there. Just below the bottom, there's another... There we go. I know why that didn't sound. I'll tell you all about that later. That's something that I've done. That's another variation of a roll. It's on a B. Below that, we've got some effects that go right off the bottom, because I think effects... I've put the effects in another patch, but I just needed to put them somewhere. So you can go right off the bottom of the keyboard and get some effects. So that's all your Gran Cassas. Now we have Snare Ensemble 1. You can change any of this mapping, and all the instruments should be there if something's not right for you, or you want to change the staging or the panning. Now we're into these alt hits without the snares on. So on here we've got an open tremolo and a closed tremolo. So when there's more than one tremolo, I've tried to put them together. You expect to see it on B flat. There's another one here. So just play around that area. You'll find what's there for each instrument. So what that is that why it didn't sound the first time. I've reduced the memory footprint by purging everything, except I've tried to sort of load in all the rolls just by playing them. The first time you play it, if you have purged your samples, they won't play. This is just me. This is what I've done. When you load this up from the factory library, all the samples will be reload all samples. It will come like that. But it's like I'm just obsessed by keeping a memory footprint as low as possible. So that's fine to stream from normal hits like this, but the tempo hit won't play the first time unless you manually load it. So that's why there's occasionally nothing, because I'm an idiot and I forgot to press all those keys before I saved this. So that's one. That's another. That's Ensemble 2. Got a flam there. More snares off. A snare 1, snare 2, on the alts, snares off. You're starting to find your way around. Mod wheel. You can't see the mod wheel on this. This is their own keyboard, so believe me, I'm moving the mod wheel up and down. Up here we've got all the rims from various things. I've put them all at the top here. And more effects at the top. Were there a few more here that I missed? No, that's another patch I'm thinking of. So there you go. So by having it all laid out, it does mean that, and you can double up. You can go very easily, or you can just do a snare with some... or double or even with and because everything's in the same relative position, you can do that and you can play parts much easier. So that's sort of the logic behind all this. There we go, that's that patch. Let's go on to another one. Let's actually finish that. There's a brushes patch and it just couldn't all fit on one page, and so I mentioned that the effects of the Gran Cassas kind of fell off the bottom. So I've got a regular sort of Gran Cassa, which one is it? Gran Cassa 1 hit at the bottom, but then here's all the effects that are nice and easy to play. They're all just laid out. Gran Cassa 1 and 2 next to each other. And also on this patch you've got the brushes. no trim there. You can always see. Look there, there's flams. And straight away, generally, if there's nothing on those Fs, so there isn't any tempo sync rolls to play there. So it's not me being an idiot. They're just different articulations for each thing. There's some swirls though. And so you've got all those on that patch there. Let's do the cymbals before I forget, because that's at the top. Here we go. Tam-tams. Main hits. Brush hits there. Damped on the sharps. Trem. Sync roll. And an alternate sync roll there. I always forget to do that. There we go. Damped roll. Much like, it's exactly the same layout as the Gran Cassas again. And a swing there on the B flat that's tempo synced. So there's 1, 2, and those are brushes. I'm going down on the mod wheel. There you go. Brushes, more rolls. These are the, is it Piatti? Is that how you pronounce it? That's a different thing, isn't it? Those aren't Piattis. Oh, it's Piatti 2, isn't it? There. So you've got your hits in the normal place. Closed on the sharps. Effects there. Interesting. Where are we now? Sus cymbal, is it? Yeah. That's that. The soft mallet, I think. We're on to, we've gone off the edge here. This is sus cymbal 2 we're on to now. On the tempo sync, we've got something there. It's a roll. There's a few of these up the top here. Run to them, the effects up the top here. The tempo sync, something there. Something there? Yeah, one of those. Okay, so again, you can layer things up and you can just, it's just a very quick way to go, give me all the cymbals. What do I want? That one. That's the one I want. And without having to audition loads of different patches or wondering where you are, you should be able to find your way around. That's the idea. Magical kit. That sounds nice, doesn't it? What's in a magical kit? All the magic, of course. Mark trees. You've got that on the F because it's tempo synced, and then above there you've got various other things. All of this magical swirly stuff. I've skipped over the bell tree, which was the octave below. Same thing, that's on the F. Bell tree is the one that looks sort of a ribbed thing, and the mark tree is the dangly thing. And I, to this day, get them mixed up. And then up the top, that's actually chromatic. I couldn't do that. ProjectSAM have been lovely and added the crotales on there. So you can play those at the top of the keyboard chromatically, but you might very well want to do a more magical stuff. There you go, pretty simple one that. I think we're round to the gunnels again now on metals and shakers. All kinds of things. Now, cowbells at the bottom here. there's no rolls or anything like that with these, so you've just got variations around. If it's not there, I can't do it. Hard hits and soft mallets and so on. More cowbells, more cowbell. Again, all the options here. Now we're at the anvils. The anvil's here. Hey. Let's see what's what. Drumsticks versus hard mallets, isn't it? So that's all the metalwork there. And now we're on to the shakies. And we're into familiar territory here because you've got the hits there. You've got two different kinds of trem. Let's get this up. This is a belt ring, isn't it? I think. No. Beat ring. Sorry. Belt ring. What the hell's that? That is a regular tambourine. So you can double these up because they're in the expected places. Trems here. I really love that beat ring, actually. It's very good. I should say the performance, you can see these in other videos. If you start dragging these around, you will move it up in the whole sound stage and can move it around. Of course, I'm pressing the wrong thing, so we're not hearing it. There we go. So you can put it right to the back of the stage, right to the front, left, right, and so on. I've kept all these to the default, and then it uses the least amount of RAM. The standard position I find works great. It always does on ProjectSAM stuff. I love the sound of their stage. So if you do need to do anything, it's that easy to change. Hey, sleigh bells. It's nice, isn't it? All in the same position with their trims. There's nothing on the F or the B, so there's no rolls there. Triangle. It all just sounds, as you'd expect, damn perfect. And there's some shakers up here. You can change the gains of any of these. You can, make them your own. So some of those sounded a little bit quiet. Kahashi. There we go. And you can change for each articulation, the ADSR, all that stuff here. There you go. That's all the metals and shakers. Miscellaneous, or orcs as some people call it. So we have some hand claps. You've got groups here and singles there. Finger snaps. It's a bit of an odds and sods at the bottom here. And then we go into the main area here for timbales. You heard that coming in there. Because there were so many variations, I've kind of grouped it around the C here. Here's our trims, where we want them. A harder hit here, the alt. Now we're on to the next one, timbale 2. Two trims, rolls, and now we're on to congas. You've got, let's have a look at the mapping. Closed hits there. Trem. Little flam there. Not a flam, a little short trem. That's a flam. There's less, there's a bit of a gap here. There's more in conga 2. You've got, again, I'm going straight for those notes that I'd always use, the hits on the C and the G. So it's fairly easy to play a performance, unless you're me when I can't play anything. Bongos. There we go. It's just, this is why we love ProjectSAM, is it always sounds exactly right, and this is no exception. It sounds great, but and this may not work for you, but it works for me, the whole mapping thing. And thank you very much, ProjectSAM, for indulging me with it. Here we go, toms. Not toms there, not enough. So here, because there's not that many articulations for the toms, I've had it so that the G is the next tom up. Oh, we've got those as soft, I remember those. So it's 4 toms. And if you want to make them roll, you can make them all roll in one hit here by, it should do it. That's just pressing all the roll things at the same time. Or short trems as we have here. These are just these soft variations, which sound incredibly similar to me, I have to say. Just the hits. Oh, Rototoms, that's right. There we go. Short trem and flam. There we go. Side hit. So for the trems, we only have short trem options here. Again, you can make that the same for everything. Stack them all up. And finally, for these, there's a few other, there's other patches to show you just to complete the collection, but this takes care of all of the basics. This is another fully loaded. We have various, was it wood blocks or temple blocks or some kind of block here. Wood block 1, there it is. You see it flashing at the top. Trems on the E, rolls on our F, and that's it. We've got hard mallets and soft mallets. Again, just to audition, key switches are great. Don't get me wrong. They have their place, but I just like this being able to go, which one? Temple blocks here. Anyway, I'm just skipping bits, but you can just hear how quick it is to audition. No, I want that one, and you're just in. They've all got that trem on there, and the rolls on here. If you need to double them up, there you go. Similar here, there's no tempo sync stuff on the tempo blocks. But you do have the trems. Castanets. Hola. All where we'd expect it. That's just, where are they? Right at the beginning. Mapping. Right, okay. So yeah, we've got a couple of variations. 1 and 2. And all the options are grouped around each variation. Rolls. Ooh, vibra slaps. And what do you call it? Thingy, scrapey thing. Guero, that's it, thank you. In a couple of directions. There we go. That's all of the that's all of those patches. If you wanted to group them together, literally all you do is you go into the folder. I've not done anything clever here because I'm not a clever person. Kits here. So here's all the different kits, and so if you just look at this video, you'll see what those are. If you want to group them together, you just put them in your own subfolder. You get those 8 patches and put them in. Oh, hello, helicopter. They've come to get me finally. Let's just, what else to show you? Here's all the individual instruments. They're still there. You can just, if you want to do that. I think one of the other reasons why I wanted to group them together is that I'm obsessed by keeping RAM low, and that's the most efficient use of the resources. Contact uses quite a lot of memory on these really clever patches that can do all these things, and so by grouping them together, your bang goes further. Bang, buck, that kind of thing. Here's the instruments. There's a couple of things to point out that are new in 1.1. You have... I kind of missed this, and bless them, they've put it in. I do like just being able to use... You see, I've got it in 2 parts of the keyboard now. So you can play it like you've got 2 mallets, and that's on the key switches here, the soft version. Or the hard. You'll need the other patch for the rolls and all that, but that's nice to have. Another thing that's new... vibraphone. Let's go into so this is the first of the tunes that we've heard. Or now, come on, click. We needed a motor, didn't we? I love a vibraphone with a motor. So there you go. That's new in 1.1. You've got that. Let's quickly whiz through just so you can hear them. So I've gone through pretty much all the library. I'm looking for other pitched instruments here. Glockenspiel is pitched, isn't it? That has pitch. Let's move it around a bit. Or gives you a good idea. It's raining now. Can you hear that? The helicopter's gone away. Now we've got the rain. And then there's glissandos as well. What else have we got here? Marimba way. I think they've done some tweaking to the marimba. There's a whole lot of new marimba samples that have come in 1.1. Nice, isn't it? What else haven't we heard? You're probably screaming at me. That one, we haven't heard that one. What? I can't see it. Tubular bells. Tubular bells. That could be Mike Oldfield. Wowzers. I've done the vibes, haven't I? I've done that. Xylophone. Xylophone is one of the only words in the English language beginning with X. There's only this in X-ray, there aren't any others, so that's a free fact for you. That's one of those instruments that really helps with the space. It's got a very particular orchestral sound when you're orchestrating stuff, that the xylophones like double with the woodwinds and all of that. The space becomes very important. It's such an incredibly short percussive sound. Without any of that, it just sounds a bit more like a toy. Sometimes you want that sound, but you really use that that space. I think I've shown you everything that's new in 1.1 and pretty much everything that wasn't in the others. You've still got all those. You've still got all these other kits. I think they may have added another couple as well. Layering things up, because you can layer in this. In general, these kit builders, I made all my patches with the kit builder. And here you've got every single thing. You can have a snare drum 1, and then you can have a bongo 2, and you can just add whatever you want and map it wherever you like over the keyboard. You can just drag things quick and easy there. You can go into the mapping. You can move each individual articulation. Just drag them with the keys or use those. It's really great. It's a really great tool. As I say, in 1.0, I was having lots of problems when there were key switches, and I couldn't control them right. But now that all works great. It's a really terrific tool. So make your own, feel free. The ones that come here in the installation in kits, the ones that I've made here and all of theirs, they've just optimized the RAM, because this takes up a lot of RAM, a kit builder patch, because all these instruments are sort of ready to go, and they have zones and stuff within Contact, and they're able to get rid of all the stuff you don't need. So it's that much more efficient if you use one of the built-in ones as a starting point, at least. And then there's and I honestly haven't tried very much with a melodic builder. I think I just want all my melodic stuff separate, but you can do the same thing here. You can have timpanis and the different timpani. You can have all those other melodic instruments, so you can do that. It's incredibly versatile. So there we go. That's Lineage. It's sort of, I suppose, an ultimate orchestral percussion library. It sounds incredible, and it's so flexible in how you want to work with it. Either with those single instruments, or you can group them together, or you can stack them. You can have them as tight or as broad as you like. Incidentally, there are others. I'm saying about that. There's you can mix the mics exactly as you need them here. It's another cracking release from ProjectSAM. Once again, my thanks very much to them, because I've been able to make my very own ultimate percussion library as I've always wanted it. I think if there's one thing I'd love, funny enough, it's on the timpani. I'd love a patch where you've got those two beaters in your left and your right hand, and then on the mod wheel, you have a roll. That would be amazing. So you can then bang and then turn the mod wheel up to do the roll, and then release the key and it has another bang. You know that, ladies and gentlemen, bang kind of thing. I'd love that. But anyway, can't have everything, can I? Thank you very much for listening to my inane waffle. I hope you do find some of these patches useful. Let me know how you get on with it. All right, see ya. Bye. Bye.